Hi guys, it's Chantale from Lepage Cafe. I am back for part 2. Okay, so how I go about, this is the cover now. It's nice and dry. It should be good to go. How I go about doing my signature is pretty simple. There's a little piece of glue there. Okay, so I wanted at least one of her pages from her kits that are like actual pages. So I chose, this is the little fox, so I decided to use this one as the middle page. So that would be in the middle of my signature. And then this is kind of how I store the tea-dyed paper. I've got a second, I'm gonna grab it here. I got this. I don't know if that's gonna be too close, probably. Let's see if we can zoom out a bit. Okay. So this is a file folder, and this is how I store my paper, my tea-dyed paper. So I literally, and then I have these little bits of paper. What else do I have in here? File folders. So this is how I kind of store my tea-dyed paper. Now this tea-dyed, there's also scrapbooking tea-dyed paper here for another project. But I have this beside me on the floor when I'm working on stuff. I also have a lid that I can put on top if I want to keep the cats out. They're pretty good actually. So I just have this beside me. Here, we'll zoom back in a little bit here. Okay. So I went through that and I decided to choose a variety of paper. Then I've also got a stack of scrapbooking papers and random papers that I could use in behind me. It's not very well organized, but that's kind of where I store it in a cabinet thingy. So this is what I decided to use. I've got these little, I just picked these up at the Dollar Tree, I believe, or Dollarama. In Canada, we've got it's like a little dollar store. And I just tea-dyed them. So this one I'll fold it in half this way. And then I used, these are coffee filters. And I tea-dyed them on my pizza pan. That's how I got these little dots. So I've got one of these in every one of my signatures. And then this is just a scrap paper. They were really cool paper and they were from an old journal. So I just took it apart and then I tea stained them. So this one I will fold them like this. So I literally, and then because I want at least 3 tea-dyed papers, it's just the way that I did it. And then 1 lined paper. If I've got graph paper, which I'm out, I will usually include one of those. So I literally just fold them. Now one of these, where's my covers underneath, of course. One of these is gonna be a pocket. So I just go, I don't even really measure, just about there. So you can use your cover to see what size you need. So it's about there usually. I've just been doing these for a little bit. This will be my pocket inside. So I fold it like that. And because I like the little, kind of little notch, so I use my 1.5 inch circle punch, and you can use any size really. And I'm just going about like that to make a little indentation for my pockets. So kind of what I do at first, this one I really like the dots, so what I do is I'm just gonna fold it in 3. Now because they are tea-dyed paper, they might not be really that straight. I try to make it as straight as possible, and then I usually, because these guys are a little longer, not much, just a little bit, but I want it a little bit shorter, so I'm gonna trim the top. I just fold them all at first, and then I'll trim it after, you'll see. And then this last one, because I've got 3 tea-dyed papers, right? This last one, I make it just a plain one. And then this bit, I use my ruler or my cutter, whatever, whichever one I want. Been using my ruler, and I cut the end off. This one, I don't really fold it a specific way. I just fold it whichever way I feel like folding it. Oh my gosh. So this one, I kind of like it to be this way. So I go about like that. I've been doing these for a while, so you can measure. So I kind of know how wide they should be, but you can use your cover to measure it if you decide to try this out. So, and this one I'm just going in 3. Now I've got quite a bit of 3 like folded like this, so I might just trim it off. We'll see. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. I kind of just wing it as I go along. So I'll fold this one in half, and then like they're literally, all of them are different because I just fold as I go. I try not to overthink it. You can, like, because I'm doing a series, I've got, oh my goodness, I've got a ton of them started. See, now I did all the papers today, and then I will bind them after. That's one part of them, and these are a couple more, and I've got, I think, 2 more to finish, but being me, silly, I made more covers than I organized my papers. So, I'll have to get a couple more papers out of my stash in the back there. So, like, this is, like, you could tell it's shorter, right? It's a shorter, but I'm okay with that. Like, I really don't mind. And sometimes I don't even do the cut, like that little dent with my punch. Because, like, it's literally a good like difference in colors, and I really like the snowflakes, so I try to keep them in there. And then this last one we'll just do like this, and then cut the little bit left. Now let's see, make sure it's kind of straight. Sometimes these little bits here I will keep and make like little tiny little booklets. So I just keep it as a little extra. So here's a couple that I've got extra that I felt like they had enough little smaller bits, so I just kept it on this side. So we shall see. Okay, so now what I do next is I check them out. Like this one's pretty good. You could trim it, but I want them a little bit smaller than my cover, right? So the height is pretty good, and the edge, I'm just gonna trim it a little bit. I changed my blade on my, oops, on my trimmer, so we should be good now. I shouldn't rip the side. So I know that the width of this guy is about 4 1/4. So I'm gonna do 4 1/8, I think it would be. About there. Inches, you guys, inches. I do not have, my cutter is not in centimeters, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm sure you can Google it. So this one I've trimmed. This one I will also trim. And sometimes I just do them all at once. Sometimes I don't. I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling. But this blade doesn't always work that great, so sometimes I'll just do literally only one at a time, so that I'm sure that it'll cut through. But I literally just changed my, and I also checked the length. Now I know the lined paper is the right size because I know it's 8. So, and then this should be good. But these ones are a little longer, so I go at 1/4 and I just cut the end, trim it. 8 1/4 is what I did there. Sorry. Kind of in a go, go, go kind of mood today. So right here. And because it's tea-dyed paper, sometimes they're not going to lay flat unless you iron it, which I don't do. So I'm okay with that. You could iron them if you wanted to, but I just think it just adds a little charm. So about there. This one's good. And then we'll trim the edge. Sometimes I trim them even a little bit more because I know they're going to be, I don't really know for sure, but that they're going to be in the middle. So sometimes I go to 4 for the width, 4 inches. Okay, so this one's good, and this one should be good. I don't know, I didn't even check. Yep, okay. So, put that away. Now I just literally there is no really perfect process. I just try to have a variety of colors, and there's my, it's not really, I know that I want this in the middle for sure, right? So, you could also fold it this way if you wanted to. It's completely up to you. But I'm thinking I wanted to fold it this way. So no reason, and then I literally just start adding. And then I go through the colors and the different textures and different colors, and I start adding. Now, I've done a couple of these, like these things, folding. So personally, I try not to put the same kind one after another. I mean, it's up to you. You can. Like this one has a pocket, so I'll go like this. And then, well, see, it's got one of those. So we'll go like that. So next, I want something maybe flat more. We'll go with some color. This one is, oh no, I want maybe this guy first because it's white, right? And then we'll go color. No, I think I want, see, there's really no rhyme or reason. I just feel like that's what I want next. I can't really explain it. I go with how I like it, I guess. It's just my process. You can literally put it whichever way you want. Now see how I've got 2 of these? I will mix them up. And I like these little short bits too. And another thing you can do too, you can have the flap in the back, but also turn it around and have the flap in the front. See, like this way. And then I just literally, I look through it and I see if I like it. Then this guy will go out like this. And that's that. That's how I kind of go about it. So I've got this one bit left, so I'm going to go and see where I could possibly, sometimes I don't use them, just do. Where I want an added little, actually, I'm just going to leave it, keep it for the little. So this is how I ended up finishing it. Now, I really like the polka dots here. You could fold it a second time and then stitch it, but I want to keep the polka dots so that you can literally pull it out and then write and have extra room. These ones are super simple. I'm not stamping the inside of the papers. I'm not really adding anything. The next step to this would be sewing all those little pockets. So let's see if I can move the sewing machine so you can kind of see, and we'll see how that works. So I'm going to try to move some stuff around, and my machine is over here, so I'm sorry about all the noise. I'm just moving some lovely papers around. So I'm hoping that you guys are crafting along with me and creating your own pop holder. Sorry, that was a cat that scared me. Oh my gosh, hopefully it didn't shake too much. Anyways, that was Luna. So I will bring this over. Let's see if I can move my phone so that you can kind of see the machine a little bit better. Try not to get you guys too dizzy. See if I can move it over a little bit more. Sorry, I guess I should have set that up before I did this. Now, I don't know how well this is going to work because I've never really sewn on camera. Okay, so hopefully you can sort of see what's going on. Okay, I said okay a lot, didn't I? Here, we'll go like that, so maybe you can see a little bit more. I've got blue thread in my machine, so, and then underneath I think it's just white. So I got my light on so I can kind of see. I don't know. Don't know if you guys can see that very well, but hopefully it kind of gives you an idea anyways. So now I go through, and this one I want to keep, like I said, I want it to open. This one has a pocket, right? So I'm going to stitch here and here. Make sure that that's in properly. What do we have it on? I don't know if the pedal's going to work like this, because it's kind of in an awkward spot. I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, I'm too far from the outlets, so I'm just going to move it over a bit more back to where it was so that I can reach my pedal. Sorry guys if it's not really in frame. Sorry, I'm like really shaking this. I'm saying sorry a lot, ain't I? But this is kind of my process, and what I do, I have a clip on so I'm just going to move you over, move the whole clip over so that you're more this way. Hopefully that wasn't too shaky. And yes, my machine is a little, but the only thing this way, you can't really see what I'm doing, can you? See if I can turn it a little bit more like that. Oh, I don't know if I'm even going to post this, but here we go. We'll try it out. Okay, so the journal is going to be just kind of over here on the side. So I'm going to start with this guy right here. Am I? Oh, sorry. Okay, that's as far out as I can do it. Okay, so I literally, you can use whatever. I've got it on just regular plain, and I'm gonna go back and forth. And that's that. And here is the first one right there. Hopefully you can see that. See how it's blue? I really like that. And then we're gonna go on zigzag on the other side. On this side I'm just making it plain. Oh, whoops. That one was wider than I wanted, but that's okay. So that's my first one, and now I'm gonna go to the next one. If I can find it here. Oh, there it is. I think I'm going to ink the edge of this just so that it may, so you can see it a little bit better, the pocket. Can you even see that? Probably not. See, I'm inking just this part here and this part. So now I'm going to sew the edges here. I'm sorry if I'm shaking you. There's not really an easy way of doing this. And when I do this, I literally do, oh, look at that, my thread came out. When I do this, when I sew the pockets and all that, I literally do one journal at a time. Like I do one process at a time. So right now I would do all like the pockets on one, all the pockets on. Now because I want to keep these super simple, to keep them a little cheaper to buy, I'm trying to not put too much stitching. So here's the other one. Oh, where are we? Okay, so, and then I'm gonna probably just do one more. This one, I think. I'm gonna do this one. I'm just gonna fold this guy, and then I will stitch. I'm gonna stitch this edge here and this edge here to create like a pocket here and a pocket there. I try to do 3 pages with stitching, and then the rest are just plain, just how they are. Okay, so now I'm going to reposition you. So that's my 3 pages. I'm going to move this guy back over. And I will reposition you back to where I had you before. Sorry if I'm moving a lot. Okay, let's see if that'll work now. Hopefully that does not move too much. Okay, guys. So this was the other one I stitched. So I'm going to put them back in there. So now that I've got everything that I feel like I need stitching on, I will find the middle. And I will look at them, make sure, oh, this guy, I think I want it a little lower. Just check that they're positioned where I want them to be at. There's no need for that if you don't want to do it this way. It's completely up to you. I just look over everything. Now, because there's a lot of these little bits in a lot of my journals, in these folders, file folder journals. Okay, let's see if I can get that right. I will do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. Okay, so now that I know that this is kind of where I want it, I grab 2 of these, and I just literally, sometimes I don't even use them, to be completely honest. But for this tutorial, is that one too long? It's okay. Okay, so I position, I just go like this. I literally, sometimes I just put one, but I mean, if you are concerned or you don't want it to move too much, you can add another one even down here or even on the top, but I'm just going to put one. I'll show you how I do. Okay, so then my awl. This is just a little cheapy awl. It's not even like really straight. Do you see that? So I will purchase a better one sometime soon. And then I have this little magnet that holds, it's a magnet behind, that holds my different sizes of needles. And I just stick it over here on my, see? With all my scissors and stuff in there. Okay. And now we need our thread, right? I use wax thread. You don't have to, but it just, I find it works better. Now, I just have a couple very kind of a variety of colors. You can use whatever color you want, really. This guy is what you're going to use. This guy. So how I do it, I go about like that twice, and then I cut the end. Okay, so we will need this. So you need wax thread, and I just grabbed mine from Amazon, and same thing with this little awl. It didn't cost me much, but it does a trick. Now how I do it, it's completely up to you how you do it. You could put it in a book and push down like that. I just literally, I put my fingers like this because I don't want it to be too, because if you push too hard it's gonna make this huge hole. And I just eye it. I just literally use my eye and find the middle right about there, right? And then I push like that until it comes out. And then I go about an inch away from the edge, so about there-ish, and I push again until it comes out. I literally hold like this so it doesn't go too far out. And then same thing on this side. I go about an inch-ish, or about there. And then I go in the middle of the two. So because I have smaller pieces, I don't want them to be just floating, right? So I go about halfway of those two. Like that. And then halfway those two is about there. I don't know. Hopefully I'm in camera. Wasn't even paying attention. Sorry guys if I wasn't. So I start with the middle, make my hole, go over here about an inch away from the edges, and then in the middle of the two. One in the middle and one in the middle. And that's how and then I just use my thread. I find the smaller needles are just easier to get through, but it's completely up to you. Get my thread in there. Wax linen thread. Wax thread. I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, it's got wax on it. And then I just pull it and I go up and down in here. I have like really bad fingers, like my fingers, I have like eczema on my fingers, so sometimes it's hard for me to pull. So I literally grab a pair of pliers and just pull it. Sometimes it can be silly. I don't know why. But, and I don't want more than about that much out, sticking out. So we'll go like this. And then I go down at the bottom. Through. And then back through the same hole I just went through. And then I watch here because you don't want your needle to go through the same thread, right? And then you want to check this. See how I got it caught in there? I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't want that to happen. See how they're kind of caught? Excuse me. Right here. I just go back and get it out of there. I just made a knot. Just because I'm on camera, I'm gonna do it wrong. Did I do it wrong? Because you want it to be not attached to each other, right? You want them to be both loose. Okay, so that you can tighten them. So now they're good. And then what I do, you could go in the middle, but I just go across to this one. Then I'm always holding this guy like this so it doesn't go away, but usually it's pretty good with, doesn't, if it's long enough it won't go anywhere. Another thing you could do too is you could attach it to your clip. I've done that too, so so that way it won't get pulled out if it's too short. I'd rather have it a little bit longer like this, sticking out. So if I want to add charms or anything, or if the person who decides to get this journal wants to add charms, they get it simple, like plain. Okay, sorry. You go at the top here. Okay, and then back in the same hole right here. Same thing, check, make sure it doesn't get caught in the last thread. Whoops. Okay, and then back in the middle it goes. Now when you bring it here, you want one string on the one side of this cord and one on the other side. One string, one wax thread, whatever you want to call it. You want one on both sides like this, see? And then I just take my little needle off and then I just tie it. I go and I pull this way and that way, like make sure they're tight. And then I just double knot it. So 1, 2, and like that. And now this one is a little longer, so I will trim that down because we don't need that long. And just throw that in the garbage. Take your little clip off like that, and you've got yourself a little journal. And that's it. And then at this point you could stamp it if you wanted to. Like when I stamp or add pockets or extra stuff to it, I usually do it before I bind it, especially when it's a big book, because you get a better stamp. Or I use a flat like cardboard surface between, and then I'll stamp so it stamps flat. So you got your pocket here, you got this guy, pocket there, and a pocket there, and then the other one is blue one over here. That is just a pocket like that. And that's that. So that's kind of how I make it. So hopefully you enjoyed the tutorial. Hopefully I wasn't whoops. Hopefully it wasn't too much shaking around. And I will have the rest of these finished today and hopefully uploaded in my Etsy shop by tomorrow. That is my goal. And we will go to the next project. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye. Have a great day.